Hello students, welcome in this video of Standard 10th English. Today we are going to learn a poem 1.3 Basketful of Moonlight. Before starting this poem, we will see the warming up section here. In the warming up section, there are 4 questions given in Chit Chat. Question number 1. Did you like to hear bedtime stories when you were a child? The answer will be yes, I like to hear bedtime stories. Question number 2. Who usually told you the bedtime stories? The answer will be usually my mother tells me the bedtime stories. Third question. Why did you like them? Because they are interesting. Fourth question. Do you still like to hear those stories again? Yes, I still like them. Here, activity 1. Discuss in groups about the procedure of planting a tree. Write the steps in bullet points and present them before your class. Here, we are going to write the points when we plant a tree. What do we do? What are the steps? The first step, taking seeds, digging a pit, putting the seeds in the pit, and then watering every day. So you have taken part in the tree plantation program, and so you know all these steps. Here you see two figures, father and mother. And the question is, discuss in pairs and write what your father and mother do for your family. Students, you love your father and mother very much, I know. And your father and mother, your parents, they are doing a lot for you. So let us see what your father does for you. See the points. Father works hard to earn a living. Our father earns money for us, helps me in my studies, takes care of us, supports us, helps us in daily work. What about our mother? Mother cooks food for us. She keeps the house clean. She takes care of all family members. She helps us in our studies. So this is what our parents do for us, and that's why it is our duty to respect our parents and to obey their order. Now let us see the poem. You see the title of this poem, Basket Full of Moonlight. It is really strange, basket full of moonlight. See, this is the basket and it is full of lights. Strange. So, in this poem, here the poet directly talks with the moon and therefore figure of speech is apostrophe. Remember, this is important point. Here in this poem, the poet directly talks with the moon and that's why the figure of speech is apostrophe. Now you can tell the figure of speech, you can tell me the title of this poem, and here you can see the name of the poet, Sunil Sharma. Actually this poem was originally it was in Dongri language and it is translated in English. So who is the poet? Sunil Sharma. Students, this is the story of a boy, a small boy. That small boy talks with the moon. Let us see what the boy says to the moon. So, shall we start the poem? So, let us start. O moon, give me moonlight. So, the small boy says to the moon, give me moonlight, basketful or 2 baskets full, with seeds of moonlight. So, from this stanza, we can understand the poet needs moonlight. How much moonlight? Basket full or 2 baskets full. And he wants to get seeds of moonlight. So this is metaphor. The question is here. What does the poet wish to get from the moon and why? The poet wishes to get basket full of moonlight and seeds of moonlight. Why? Because he wants to enlighten the sides of the path that we are going to see here. The second stanza. From the city to my village, on the sides of the path, I want to sow many small moons of light. So what does the boy wants to do? The small boy wants to sow many small moons of light. And where he wants to sow the small moons of light? On the sides of the path. Path means way, or you can say road. On the side of the road, the poet will sow the small moons of light. And that road or that path, it connects the city to his village. The whole village goes to the city. The whole village. The whole village means not the village, because village is a non-living thing. The whole village means the people who live in the village, they go to the city. Here the non-living thing behaves like a living thing. That's why the figure of speech is personification. And here in the previous line, small. These words are repeated. So figure of speech is repetition. The whole village goes to the city daily to work. Means all the people in the village, where do they go every day? They go to the city. And why? For their work. What happens then? It becomes dark on its way back. On its way back means when the village people, when they return their village in the evening, it becomes dark because they return after the sunset. As my village is quite far means the village is at a long distance from the city. So when the village people, when they return from the city, there is darkness on the road. The route is tough and full of snakes and scorpions. Route means way, path or road. Look, this is the way. This way or this route, it connects the city to the village, and this road passes through the forest. So it is very difficult. It is tough. And as there is the forest, this road is full of snakes and scorpions. So is it easy to walk on this way? No, it is not easy to walk on this way because this road is full of snakes and scorpions. And as the road is difficult, it is tough. Neither bus nor cart plies. That means there is no any bus, there is no any bullock cart, or there is no any vehicle that travels. Plies means travels. When my father returns home, I am asleep. The boy is asleep. Why? Because father returns home late in the evening, and so the small boy is asleep. And he goes back early in the morning while I am sleeping. So in the next morning, when father gets up, when father gets ready for his job, the poet, the small boy, is still sleeping. Therefore, the poet or the boy says to the moon, "O moon, give me a basket full of moonlight on loan." You know, when we don't have sufficient money, what do? We take a loan from the bank. In the same way, the small boy says to the moon, "Give me a basket full of moonlight on loan. I want to light the dark route so that my father returns early." Now you can understand. If there is no darkness on the way, if there is no darkness on the route, then what will happen? There will be light, there will be moonlight, and then it will be easy for the father to return home, and father will return home early, so that my father returns early. I too want to hear fairy tales and stories from him. You know, you like to hear the stories, bedtime stories. And as we know, the poet is a small boy. The small boy also wants to hear fairy tales, imaginary stories from his father. And that's why the small boy requests, "O moon, give me a basket full of moonlight. I want to sow seeds of moon on the sides of the path." And that's why at the end, the boy again says to the moon, "Please give me a basket full of moonlight." And the boy wants to sow seeds of moon on the sides of the path. So who is the poet of this poem? Sunil Sharma. This poem was originally in which language? Dongri language. And now this poem is translated into English. We will see the questions. Marginal activities. What does the poet wish to get from the moon and why? The poet wishes to get basket full of moonlight and seeds of moonlight because he wants to enlighten the sides of the path. Why is the road from the city to the village dangerous? Because dangerous. It is tough because we have seen. Because it is full of snakes and scorpions. Next question. Why does the poet want his father home early? Because he wants to hear stories from his father. And this is the last question. It is personal response question. So, how do you spend your evening time with your family members? You can write the answer like this. In the evening, I watch TV programs with my family members. I chat with them. We take our dinner together. And in this way, I spend my time with my family members. You can change this answer. You can write this answer in your own sentences. So, did you like this poem? Read this poem. In the next video, we are going to see the English workshop and the appreciation of this poem. So enjoy this poem.